It's time for Focus, and today a €1 billion bid in South Africa to stop huge student protests that have been shaking not just higher education but wider society for the last year. And that's the amount of money the South African government's just announced in extra financing for universities. But can it do the trick and end the demonstrations? For a closer look at what's behind the students' anger and what it tells us about the state of the Rainbow Nation, France 24's Caroline Dumais, Stéphane Carstens and Patrick Lovett report.
Protesting has become an everyday occurrence at the University of Cape Town. Here, like on other campuses across the country, students have for months now prevented lectures from taking place. Their method is quite simple.
I think we have done what we wanted to do on this building, So I don't know if there are some rooms or classes which are happening now, but if we are not, then we can proceed and move to the other building.
Started off about a protest about fees for university, which really properly should have been directed at the government. I think it's lost its focus. It's now really just about a bunch of arrogant people throwing their weight around and trying to intimidate and cause fear in the university for their own unclear purposes at this point.
The university staff is furious. Students have become more militant and provocative in their actions. Their demands started with free education for all, then the decolonization of the curriculum. Now it includes demands for higher salaries for university workers. Some are now questioning the agendas of those behind the often violent protests. Last week, a student died when he was knocked over by a vehicle during a demonstration turned riot. Letabo still supports the Fees Must Fall movement. He has been studying at UCT for 4 years now. Like his girlfriend, he borrowed money to finance his accountancy degree. Today he owes more than 15,000 euros. He thinks it's unfair.
For a different student who has had someone fund their studies without needing to pay it back, or if it was funded by someone's parents who can afford, when they start working, they don't have to worry about this huge debt they owe to the government. So it creates already inequality. Even though we both have the same degree, get the same salary, I still have to repay a portion of my salary to the people who made it possible for me to get there.
The government's National Financial Aid Scheme has helped more than 2 million students to date to further their education. The center takes more than 1,200 calls a day.
Yes, you're speaking to Ivan. How may I assist you today?
The loans are given according to one's school results. For top achievers, the loan is converted into a scholarship. The scheme works well, but always needs capital. The government has just allocated an additional 300 million euros. But this is not enough for the growing number of students. The state needs help from the private sector.
The government has worked very hard. We believe that free education for the poor is possible. Obviously, it requires a partnership with private sector because someone has to pick up the bill.
And who will pick up the bill is what government is busy establishing. The Fees Commission, presided by a retired judge, has interviewed dozens of experts regarding fees, transportation, student housing, and computer-related expenses. A report will be sent in November to President Zuma, which will result in a complete revamp of higher education.
The way we understand the statutory mandate, it can't focus only on funding. It needs to focus on the whole thing. Remember, one of the key demands includes what they call decolonization of universities. That talks to the structure of curriculum, that talks to the type of academic that teaches at university.
And while government is working on solutions, students are running out of patience. In Cape Town, 9 cars were set alight this week. Damage across the country is estimated to be around 40 million euros. Meanwhile, support for the student movement is decreasing.
We just need to have a better way of protesting. Look, it's a noble cause, but we cannot condone this. This is not right.
And while 500 students have been arrested around the country, students are accusing police of using excessive force. They say they will not negotiate as their leaders are denied bail.
We can't make a concession with regards to continuing negotiations while Mascolo Mnandi is in prison, because Mascolo Mnandi is a key stakeholder in the negotiations and he's a student leader who leads students at this campus, and he has to be involved in that process.
Dialogue seems to fall on deaf ears. Nobody knows if the exams planned for the beginning of next month will happen. But activists like Letabo are ready for the sacrifice. He says he's doing it not only for himself, but also for future generations.